What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Today is Wednesday, October 25th, 6 days away from the NFL trade deadline. It is now week 8, the midway point of the season for our Washington Commanders. And we got a little bit of news on this Wednesday hump day edition of Rambling About Washington. We have activated Phidarian Mathis last year, 2022 second round pick, Phidarian Mathis out of Alabama, the guy that we drafted to be Daron Payne insurance because we were in franchise tag contract limbo with Daron Payne. Before we got the deal done, we drafted him just in case, and we drafted him as a depth insurance piece. Another head-scratching, questionable pick by Ron Rivera, Martin Mayhew and company, along with a litany of others, but they have 21 days to activate Phidarian Mathis to the active roster to get on the field. And I'm crossing my fingers. We need to just see him be on a football field so we can evaluate him. He got injured on the first drive of the season last year, and he hasn't played a snap this year. So last year's second round pick, we've seen nada. He's been in the building for over a year. This year's second round pick, Quan Martin, has played, I believe, 10 defensive snaps, and he's flashed in a couple blitzes, and he looks like a stout punt team guy. But the second round plague for Washington is continuing. And with Sam Cosmi looking all right, he looks okay. He looks like he could be a solid starter. A question mark for Phidarian Mathis, and we need to see Quan Martin actually stay on the field and out of the injury tent. Second round pick. I'm telling you, I mean this wholeheartedly when I say the NFL should ban Washington from picking in the second round of the draft. Let me remind you, just in case you don't remember, Washington's last 15 years of second round picks. This year, Quan Martin, we went DB to start the draft, knowing that our biggest needs were on the offensive line. We went with Jartavius Quan Martin out of Illinois. Through 8 weeks of his rookie season, the man has been on the field for less than 20 snaps. Be with that what you will. Do what you will with that information. Phidarian Mathis, Alabama, last year got hurt on the first series. We haven't seen him. He's been with the team now for almost 18 months. We haven't seen him play in a regular season game yet. Hasn't recorded one stat. They live on the injury report. They've been more on the injury report than they've been in uniform, practice, or game so far. 2021, Sam Cosmi has been kind of hampered with injuries and has been solid-ish since we've drafted him. We haven't hit one home run. We don't have one consistent starter in our last 3. But let me walk you back to 2008. Let's go backwards. 2020, no second round pick. 2019, no second round pick. I'm telling you, it's good that when we don't have second round picks. I believe those were the picks we lost because we traded 2 seconds to get Montez Sweat. I'm telling you, that's the play for Washington every year. Bundle your second and get back in the first round. Pick twice in the first round every year because we have no luck in the second round. This is not hyperbole. This is not exaggeration. This is a real thing. I can give you 15 years plus of data saying that Washington cannot make a second round pick. It doesn't matter who the coach is. It doesn't matter who the GM is. Washington cannot hit on a second round pick. 2018, Darius Geis. We know how that played out. Don't try to go into detail about it. 2017, Ryan Anderson. We drafted this guy to be an edge or backer. I don't know what we drafted him to do for real, but he was trash. We drafted him just because he wore an Alabama uniform. Hey, he played for Bama, so he must be good. Boy was the pudgiest linebacker I've ever seen. Boy was built like me playing NFL linebacker. 2016, Sua Cravens. He quit on the team in less than a year. Preston Smith, 2015, circle it, highlight it, put a fucking plaque around it because this is the only second round pick we've hit on in 15 years. 1-5. And he didn't even get a second contract here. We let him go on elsewhere to the Packers, and he's had a good career. He's been solid. The only pick we've hit on in the second round in 15 years. 2014, Trent Murphy, Jag. 2013, David Emerson, Jag. 2011, Jarvis Jenkins, because, we traded our second in 2012 for the RG3 trade. I'm telling you, always package the second, get back into the first round, get 2 shots at an elite player in the first round of the draft, because we can't even draft a motherfucker that can stay on the field and get a fair evaluation in the second round. We continue. 2011, Jarvis Jenkins, extra size trash can. No second round pick in 2010 or 2009. But then there's the epic trifecta, holy trinity of Washington second round failures. Devin Thomas, Fred Davis, Malcolm Kelly. Fred Davis had promise, but the work ethic lacked, and he was never able to get the full gist of his talent because we called him Sleepy David. The boy couldn't even show up to camp on time. And Malcolm Kelly and Devin Thomas have about the career resume as a receiver that I have. We got about the same amount of stats. Me and Malcolm Kelly got the same amount of career touchdowns. I've never touched NFL grass on Sunday. That's what Washington does in the second round. I'm praying for Phidarian Mathis. Just look like a football player. Just show up in uniform each week. If, like my measuring stick, if you can at least be John Ridgeway, congratulations. Our second round pick was a success. If you can just be John Ridgeway, because John Ridgeway is a quality depth piece. A quality depth piece. And if one of our D tackles went down and we needed a guy to pinch in for a couple weeks, we can count on John Ridgeway. Phidarian Mathis, if you can be that, I'll take it. I'm not asking the world of you, bro. Just be on the goddamn field, because 90% of our second round picks are not even on the football field. They don't play. They're not here long enough to even evaluate or gauge if they're worth a draft pick or a roster spot on the 53. Phidarian Mathis, please get activated in the next 21 days. And please just show up in uniform on Sundays. I'm tired of seeing draft picks be a healthy scratch on Sundays, because it's like, what the hell is even the point? Moving off our second round picks, reports are saying Washington has at least one trade offer on the table so far for one of our defensive ends. And it's not Chase Young, it's Montez Sweat. One trade offer is on the table as we speak, 6 days before the trade deadline. I don't think any movement or any traction, any motion will be made from Washington, because that's not how Sailboat Ron and company get down. Ron picked Martin Mayhew to be his de facto GM. Put GM in parentheses because GM is just like guy in executive position that answers to Ron Rivera. We picked the guy who was GM of the 0-16 Detroit Lions to be our general manager. And we picked the guy that failed with Ron in Carolina, Marty Herney, to be his assistant. That's just who these guys are, man. That's just who these guys are. That's just who these guys are going to be. I don't think any trades are made, but it's interesting that a trade is on the table for Montez Sweat right now. But game preview coming tomorrow with my boy Josh Taylor. We got Philadelphia on Sunday. Not looking too optimistic about it, but you never know what's going to happen with this unpredictable, wild Washington Commanders football team. That's all I got for right now. Until next time, hail to the Washington Commanders. Commander Rio, out.